Good evening, everybody. Now, if you want to join in with tonight's awards ceremony and perhaps send messages of congratulations to any of the award recipients and the new appointees, you can do this by using the chat button facility, which is located at the bottom of your screen. Now, you need to choose the drop-down option of panellists and attendees, which lists all the award winners and will also allow you to see your comments. Enjoy.
My Lord Lieutenant, distinguished military, government and civic dignitaries, honoured guests, ladies, gentlemen, family and friends, a very warm welcome to you all. I'm Air Commodore Pete Wally, and as the Reserve Forces and Cadets Association Regional Chairman for South Wales, it is my honour and pleasure to lead you through this Lord Lieutenant's Award ceremony. Throughout the year, reservists in Wales provide valuable support to our regular armed forces, both at home and operational duties, and in their local community. Our cadets, whether from the Sea Cadet Corps, Army Cadet Force, Air Training Corps, or the Combined Cadet Force, grow and develop into responsible and confident young citizens, achieving enormous training and sporting success, as well as providing support to their communities through many and varied activities. These endeavours help maintain the good name of the armed forces in Wales. Finally, our adult volunteers devote time, energy and effort that is truly humbling to ensure that our cadets gain the maximum benefit from what for many can be life-changing experiences in preparation for adult life. The awards ceremonies, held annually by the Lord Lieutenants of Wales, are an opportunity for deserving individuals to be publicly recognised within the community in which they live and serve for their contribution to the reserves and the cadet forces. Now, as a retired Air Commodore with 37 years service in the Royal Air Force and having been Air Officer Wales for 4 years, I am only too well aware of the importance of awards ceremonies such as this. Whilst the arrangements this year are far removed from anything we are used to, the virtual ceremony in no way reduces or demeans the value of the awards being made. This evening, Her Majesty's Lord Lieutenant will be making the following presentations: the Lord Lieutenant's Certificate of Merit, the Lord Lieutenant's Cadet Certificate and Lord Lieutenant's Badge for 2020, and then finally the Lord Lieutenant's Cadet Appointments for 2021. Firstly then, the Lord Lieutenant's Certificate of Merit. The Lord Lieutenant's Certificate of Merit records the Lord Lieutenant's gratitude and recognition for outstanding service and devotion to duty. This year, the certificates are being awarded to
Petty Officer Annette Owen. Petty Officer Annette Owen is a dedicated and very well respected member of Rhondda Sea Cadets staff team. Annette initially joined the unit in February 2012 as a probationary civilian instructor, and then moved to the next stage as a probationary petty officer in the same year. Over the next 2 years, Petty Officer Owen completed all her core training modules and was confirmed as a substantive petty officer. Petty Officer Owen very quickly became a key member of the instructional team and soon realised that the unit needed a meteorological instructor. Annette ensured that she attended the next available instructor's course, which she passed with flying colours, and filled the training gap for this important syllabus subject. Petty Officer Owen is also a member of the unit's first aid instructors team, and in addition is very keen on anything waterborne. She currently holds qualifications in sailing, rowing and powerboating. At the start of her Sea Cadet Corps career, Annette found that being a member of the cadet forces was something of an alien experience. But she did not let this stop her from pushing herself forward and pursuing her training and development goals, as she knew this would directly benefit the cadets of Rhondda Unit. Without doubt, Petty Officer Owen's commitment and dedication to the training of the young people of the Rhondda and surrounding areas has been a very significant contributor to the cadet experience for all of the unit's sea cadets. For her exceptional dedication and performance, Petty Officer Annette Owen is highly recommended for the award of a Lord Lieutenant of Mid Glamorgan Certificate of Merit. Second Lieutenant Bethan Faeraker. Bethan Faeraker enrolled as an adult volunteer in February 2015 and has experienced a meteoric rise through the ranks of the Army Cadet Force following a trajectory that is entirely deserved and reflective of her contribution to the organisation. Within 18 months of passing her probation as an adult volunteer, the departure of a colleague meant that the responsibility of detachment commander was thrust upon her. She embraced this challenge with gusto. Under her leadership, the Llandaff North Detachment quickly established itself as a centre for cadet excellence, but also as a welcoming and safe place for all cadets to be. Second Lieutenant Faeraker's organisational and interpersonal skills quickly manifested themselves to the benefit of the wider organisation, and in March 2018 she was appointed as Company Training Officer. In this role, Bethan planned and implemented a complex and demanding training programme for the county's senior cadet cadre during the 2018 annual camp. Bethan attended the Army Officer Selection Board at Westbury in May 2019 and was subsequently commissioned as a second lieutenant. As a newly commissioned officer, she planned and executed an 11-day fieldcraft exercise at Sennybridge, which included battle simulation, urban warfare skills, night ambushes and the use of pyrotechnics. Many cadets reported in their camp feedback forms that this was the best thing they had ever done in the Army Cadet Force. More recently, Second Lieutenant Faeraker has been the backbone of A Company's COVID-restricted training activities, keeping the flame alive by leading virtual training and actively engaging with and motivating fellow volunteers during these challenging times. In sum, Bethan is an outstanding young leader and a fine junior officer, and in recognition of her outstanding commitment and dedication to the Army Cadet Force, Second Lieutenant Bethan Faeraker is highly recommended for the award of the Lord Lieutenant's Certificate of Merit. Staff Sergeant Instructor Royston Edwards. Staff Sergeant Instructor Royston Edwards has been a Cadet Force adult volunteer since August 2010 and is currently the Detachment Commander of Porthcawl Detachment. To date, SSI Edwards has attended the numerous company, county, brigade and national events with the Army Cadet Force, and he also volunteers himself for external training courses such as the Science, Technology and Engineering and Mathematics course that he attended in 2018. Royston has many qualifications in transport, with a specialist expertise in transport safety. This has allowed him to import his professional skills and made him a vital member of the company and county team with regards to transportation. The cadet experience would not be the same without volunteers like Staff Sergeant Instructor Edwards, who have vast experience and knowledge in driving. Royston also trains his fellow Cadet Force adult volunteers, assisting in the delivery of progressive training for adult volunteers. He is a highly qualified adult volunteer and uses this and life skills to enhance the cadet experience. Throughout his time as an adult volunteer, SSI Edwards has developed a thorough knowledge of the cadet syllabus. He has completed an array of courses covering the training curriculum, including the Adult Leadership and Management course, Expedition Supervisor in support of the Duke of Edinburgh Award, First Aid Training Advisor, and recently a Senior Leadership course. This year, as part of his local Veterans Hub, Royston was an asset to his local community during lockdown. He volunteered his time to collect and deliver shopping and prescriptions from pharmacies to those who were unable to leave their accommodation. Within his personal life, Royston is a carer for his long-term partner Maria, balancing his life accordingly between his family, including his grandchildren, and his responsibilities within the Army Cadet Force. In recognition of his contribution to the Army Cadet Force, Staff Sergeant Instructor Royston Edwards is recommended for the award of the Lord Lieutenant's Certificate for Merit. Staff Sergeant Instructor Scott Davey has been a Cadet Force adult volunteer since August 2011, having previously been a senior cadet. He is currently the detachment commander of the Bridgend Detachment. Throughout his time as an adult volunteer, Scott has assisted many areas of C Company. Initially based in Porthcawl, on completion of his induction training, he moved to Maesteg. In 2016, he relocated to the Pontypridd, where he spent a year as second in command of the detachment, gaining valuable experience in a management role prior to settling in Bridgend. Since taking over the Bridgend Detachment, SSI Davey has set about implementing a set of standards and routine that has continued to develop and improve the cadet experience. It is to Scott's great credit that his subject matter knowledge and training delivery methods have drawn praise from fellow instructors across the company. In 2015, he assisted with a county first aid competition, and this opportunity sparked an interest to improve and expand upon his own knowledge of first aid. In 2019, he progressed within the company, taking on additional responsibility as the company first aid representative. As an individual, Staff Sergeant Instructor Davey is enthusiastic, motivated and caring. He is a father of 2 young children and manages to balance family and volunteer commitments accordingly. Never one to sit still, he is currently exploring further courses to help develop himself and to use this experience to enhance the cadet experience. In recognition of his contribution to the Army Cadet Force, Staff Sergeant Instructor Scott Davey is recommended for the award of the Lord Lieutenant's Certificate for Merit. Sergeant Martin Edwards. After service as a cadet, Martin Edwards joined the Royal Air Force Air Cadets as a civilian instructor in 2008. He became a sergeant in 2014, but due to work pressure he left the Corps in 2016. However, he soon rejoined as a civilian committee member and became the 415's Merthyr Tydfil Squadron chair for 2 years. He has also served as a deputy wing chair. In 2019, Martin returned to uniform duty as a sergeant and had to step up to become the officer in charge of 415 Merthyr Tydfil Squadron due to the sudden and tragic death of its commanding officer. Martin has continued in this role, maintaining his trademark abundance of energy and enthusiasm. He also has the added responsibility of managing the detached flight, which is based at Brecon. Martin has not wavered in his commitment to meet the task. He has enhanced his own qualifications in first aid, Duke of Edinburgh's award, radio, risk assessment, and has achieved the Institute of Leadership and Management Level 5 in Leadership and Management Studies. Sergeant Edwards is a conscientious and quietly determined individual. He trains his cadets to the highest standards, and many of them have achieved success in the wing and wider RAF Air Cadets community. He has ensured that his cadets are fully engaged during the COVID-19 pandemic, and 415 Squadron, under his leadership, is always ready to participate and contribute to the online training for the wing. Sergeant Martin Edwards is a highly valued member of No. 1 Welsh Wing and is robustly recommended for recognition by the award of a Lord Lieutenant's Certificate of Merit. Unit Assistant Lucy Thomas. Unit Assistant Lucy Thomas is a dedicated and highly respected member of the Rhondda Sea Cadet staff team. Lucy initially joined the unit in 2016 and took up the role of Administration Officer. Since assuming this appointment, she has overseen the streamlining of enrolment procedures and implemented improvement to record keeping, all of which have contributed to a much improved and highly well-organised administrative office. A qualified first aider and part of the first aid training team, Lucy is also responsible for all of the unit's recreational activities, and she regularly organises events and excursions. 2020 was a very difficult year for our staff and members, as Rhondda unit has been closed due to the COVID pandemic. Lucy, alongside the unit's commanding officer, put together funding applications to provide care packs for the cadets and their siblings whilst in lockdown. This saw Lucy coordinate the delivery of nearly 500 care packs spread across 5 deliveries, which were a welcome relief for the cadets. It goes without saying that without Lucy's commitment and dedication, their welfare and well-being would have been much diminished. In summary, Lucy Thomas is an exceptional member of staff and is highly deserving of recognition with the award of a Lord Lieutenant's Certificate of Merit.
We now move on to the Lord Lieutenant's Cadet Certificate and Badge for 2020. The Lord Lieutenant's Cadet Certificate and Badge are awarded to members of the cadet forces in recognition of those individual cadets' performance during the previous year in support of the Lord Lieutenant. This year, for their performance during 2020, the Lord Lieutenant Cadet Certificate and Badge is awarded to
Able Cadet Morgan Selby of Rhondda Sea Cadet Corps, Cadet Staff Sergeant Adam Bertarelli of Davey and Glamorgan ACF, Cadet Warrant Officer Megan Lambert of Number 3 Welsh Wing RAF Air Cadets, Cadet Flight Sergeant Rhys Phillips of Number 1 Welsh Wing RAF Air Cadets, and Cadet Sergeant Rachel Baltista of Treorchy School Combined Cadet Force.
The final set of awards are the Lord Lieutenant's cadet appointments for 2021. The Lord Lieutenant has a number of cadets each year nominated by the Sea Cadet Corps, the Army Cadet Force, the RAF Air Cadets and the Combined Cadet Force. Cadets are nominated for their outstanding contribution to their respective cadet units. The cadet will support the Lord Lieutenant on special occasions such as royal visits, remembrance parades and civic events. For 2021, the appointed Lord Lieutenant's cadets are
Able Cadet Aaron Thomas. Able Cadet Aaron Thomas has been a member of Rhondda Sea Cadet since July 2017. A dedicated, committed and highly motivated young man, he is invariably first in line to volunteer when the unit requests cadet support for events. As one of the more senior and mature cadets, Aaron's roles and responsibilities have now changed somewhat, and he is more involved with teaching and the mentoring of the younger cadets. The suspension of face-to-face training has seen Aaron transfer these activities to the virtual arena, which has seen him improve his instructional skills and provided great preparation for his next advancement goal, that of leading cadet. Whilst the unit has been closed, we have been sending out monthly care packs to all of our cadets, and Aaron was part of the team responsible for this effort. He has packed bags at his home with his mother, who is our unit admin officer, which illustrates his commitment to Rhondda Sea Cadets. Keen on being involved in waterborne activities, Able Cadet Thomas has achieved qualifications in canoeing with the British Canoeing Union, powerboating, rowing and dinghy sailing. In addition to his impressive portfolio of waterborne qualifications, he has also achieved commendable grades in the syllabus subjects of catering, stewarding and seamanship. Aaron is always at the forefront of volunteering for events and activities in support of the unit. However, also worthy of note are his efforts in support of other community activities. Able Cadet Thomas's personal standards of conduct and dress are exemplary, and he is without doubt a very high calibre individual. Honest, trustworthy, polite and courteous, I believe that Able Cadet Aaron Thomas is an exemplary ambassador, not only for Rhondda Sea Cadet Unit, but the Sea Cadets as a whole, and as such he is a highly recommended for the appointment of Lord Lieutenant's Cadet for Mid Glamorgan 2021. Cadet Flight Sergeant Morgan Hunter-Smith. This recommendation for appointment of Lord Lieutenant's Cadet is made for the consistently high standard of service that Cadet Flight Sergeant Morgan Hunter-Smith has given to 1223 Squadron during his time in the RAF Air Cadets. He has consistently achieved high standards in every aspect, showing leadership skills in guiding, mentoring and motivating the squadron's cadets, providing excellent instruction and dedication to the squadron and the wing. Morgan joined the Royal Air Force Air Cadets in October 2014. Highlights of his cadet career to date include completing the Air Cadets Junior Leaders course, the Premier Leadership course in the organisation. This has led him to becoming a qualified fieldcraft instructor and earning the Gold Leadership badge. He is also the squadron's banner bearer. These achievements show Cadet Flight Sergeant Hunter-Smith's dedication and commitment to the Corps, having on many occasions given up a large amount of his time participating in numerous cadet activities. At squadron level, Cadet Flight Sergeant Hunter-Smith has demonstrated leadership and commitment by stepping forward and taking on extra responsibilities, proving himself to be a valuable asset by assisting the staff to run the squadron. Morgan is now utilising his instructional qualifications by assisting with the delivery of the first-class syllabus training. As a fieldcraft specialist, he also assists the Squadron Warrant Officer in delivering fieldcraft lessons. During lockdown, Morgan stepped forward to deliver online fieldcraft sessions, a challenging proposition even for experienced staff members. However, Cadet Flight Sergeant Hunter-Smith coped admirably with this challenge. Cadet Flight Sergeant Morgan Hunter-Smith has demonstrated the skills and qualities of an excellent cadet. As a committed cadet who puts his heart and soul into all aspects of squadron life, I have no hesitation in recommending him for the appointment as a Lord Lieutenant's Cadet for Mid Glamorgan for 2021. Cadet Flight Sergeant Madison Parkhouse. Cadet Flight Sergeant Madison Parkhouse is a keen and enthusiastic member of 2318 Squadron and is always fully supportive of any squadron or wing event. Consistently smart and immaculately turned out, she is a role model for all of the new recruits and existing cadets, displaying exemplary standards. Her personal bearing is supreme, and she has an infectious spirit of adventure and self-motivation to encourage her peers to pursue their own personal development. A keen sports person, Madison has represented her squadron in athletics, football, netball and cross-country, and the South Wales area at athletics. She is also a keen road marcher, and after 8 months of gruelling training was selected to attend the 2019 Nijmegen Marches, a 4-day event covering 100 miles. The squadron has been through many challenges, the most demanding of which was when the squadron had no uniformed staff. Without hesitation and displaying a maturity well beyond her years and rank, Madison stepped up to complete many of the training, mentoring and cadet development opportunities for the unit, all of which are normally for the preserve of the uniformed staff. In sum, Cadet Flight Sergeant Parkhouse's grit and determination ensured that the squadron remained viable until a uniformed officer was appointed. The pandemic has also brought many challenges to the squadron. Once again, Madison stepped up to the plate and committed herself to the new virtual training regime for the squadron, wing and corps. She showed great determination to motivate all of her cadets to remain active squadron members, encouraging them to take part in the online virtual training and qualification activities during these very difficult times. An exemplary cadet at every discipline within the Royal Air Force Air Cadets, Cadet Flight Sergeant Madison Parkhouse is highly recommended for appointment as a Lord Lieutenant's Cadet for Mid Glamorgan for 2021.
My Lord Lieutenant, that concludes the award ceremony. May I please invite you to say a few words?
This is a very important event in the lieutenancy calendar, and representing one of the 8 Lord Lieutenants in Wales, I must say how delighted I am to present these significant awards to such worthy recipients from the Middle Glamorgan area. The global impact of the COVID pandemic has been all too apparent. Families have suffered devastating tragedies, and our lives have been altered through the changes that we have had to make. Whilst these times are truly exceptional, it is essential that we do not overlook those whose service is so important. This event, although it is a virtual one, presents a vital opportunity to say a huge thank you to those people who have found time to support their communities and put something back. The recipients of tonight's awards certainly demonstrate the very best dedication and commitment of our Reserve Force and Cadet Force family. Whilst these times are uncertain, it's clear our Reserve Forces continue to play a hugely significant role in defence of our country and have demonstrated so much commitment and dedication supporting their regular counterparts. Despite the changes to the way they operate, the Reserve Forces remain committed to serving the country in their spare time as volunteers. We are most fortunate in having such part-time members of the Army, the Navy and the Air Force. It's interesting to note that approximately 100 reservists were mobilised last year supporting training teams and exercises abroad, as well as backfilling gaps within the regular forces at home. Crucially, this last year, a further 200 reservists in Wales were mobilised to support the fight against COVID, working in operations room, driving and deep cleaning ambulances and supporting the testing arrangements. They made a significant difference. Our cadet forces are also amazing organisations and deserve our congratulations. The combination of military training, civilian qualifications and community work certainly helped to develop our young people and put something back into society. Of course, the success of the cadet forces is not just down to our young people. It's down to the officers and the volunteers who put so much of their own time into making such a difference. And I'd like to pay tribute to those individuals, particularly during this period where ingenuity, the way that they view social media, has ensured that training, contact, which has been essential, has continued with our young people. Quite simply, what they've done has been awe-inspiring. I now want to thank a number of people firstly, everyone that's joined us here tonight to listen to the citations, to hear of the work of our reserve forces and cadets. I've been truly humbled to hear of all that you do. Thank you for joining us and listening to everything that they put into our societies and communities. There's one thing that I've always been sure of, and that is without the support of your family, nothing is possible. With the support of families and friends, everything is possible. To the families and loved ones of our reserve forces and cadets, to our volunteers and officers, thank you so much for allowing your loved ones to do what they do best. Quite simply, without you, they could not do what they do, and we are so grateful. I'd like to also thank the Reserve Forces and Cadets Association for organising this event. And finally for me is to once more say thank you for all that you do, Reserve Forces and Cadets, and congratulations to all the recipients of these awards tonight. Llongyfarchiadau.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. Now please keep an eye on our website and our social media channels over the coming days for any updates on tonight's event, and that'll also include a full recording of the ceremony which will be posted on our YouTube channel. Thanks again and good night.